always had the juice, but now I'm coming for Kandi's peach. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Raphael and I'm here to review episode 6 of the Real Housewives who date underneath their tax bracket of Atlanta. We start the episode off at Sheree's house and she's down and depressed over the date that never happened with Tyrone after he stood her up and left her at the restaurant like a lonely prom date. So she's been moping around the house, wallowing around. She doesn't really know what to do. She's heartbroken, right? And she's been just in her pajamas for the last couple of days. So then her daughter Tiara, she walks in and she's like, "Mom, how are you? What's been going on? How are you feeling?" As if both of them didn't already have this conversation off of camera, but okay, let's continue. So Sheree's just like, "Oh, I'm so glad that you're in here. Let me tell you about what happened with Tyrone, even though we already discussed it 20 times off camera, but let me tell you." So then Tyrone, he stood me up at the restaurant. He left me there for hours. I think I was waiting there longer than a Marvel superhero movie, and it was just so humiliating. I just felt like so embarrassed. And then he called me out of the blue, and he was just like, "Oh, how are you?" Typical trash ass, toxic ass man. They will just do you wrong and then call you the next day like, "Hey, how are you? How's your day? How's your mom?" Isn't that the pattern? Isn't that how it always goes? So she's also telling Tiara that she's in her feelings about it. She doesn't really know what to do, how to move forward, if she should move forward, or if she should leave him in the dust or break it off with him. But Sheree, I mean, I don't know. Again, like I said in my review last week, I feel like this is all just insecurity because I don't get why you're allowing this. I'm pretty sure this is not the first time he has disrespected you or made you feel clownish or dumb or anything like that. Because even last week, you said that, this is like the 50th strike, and yet you're willing to be okay with that. And she's like, "I don't really know. I mean, if you're so in love with somebody, do you just let them go?" The answer is yes. I mean, then again, I don't know, because if she's so in love with this man, she obviously sees something in him that we don't. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, Eve said it best. Love is blind, and it will take over your mind. What you think is love is truly not. You need to elevate and leave that man who can't leave 100 miles away from Philly and find... But obviously, I know that Sheree, she will not. He could literally just walk all over her with his muddy shoes and she'll be okay with that. She'll just be like, "Can you just not step on me that hard the next time? Okay, let's continue being together." She gives me that type of vibe. Unfortunately, which I thought Sheree was the complete opposite, but here we are. So Tiara, she had the right mindset. She was just like, "Mom, I just feel like we need to put you back in the streets. We need to get you together and get you out of those pajamas and get you back on the streets." And honestly, Sheree, this is my advice to you. I don't know if you've been around Tyrone's circle of friends or anything, but you should find his best friend and fuck him. That will teach him. I'm pretty sure that it will hurt his feelings. Like, wow, my best friend? Wow. And that will probably make him act right. But then again, that could get tricky because let's say Tyrone doesn't care about Sheree the way she cares about him emotionally. He'll just be like, "Okay, Sheree, you screwed my best friend. So what? I'm screwing X, Y, and Z behind your back too. So I guess we're even." And then in that case, Sheree, you would have just fucked his best friend for nothing. So never mind. Don't take my advice. But what I will say is what you should be doing is just focusing on She by Sheree. Instead, you're worrying about he's on parole. Then we get a surprising lunch date between Kenya and Drew. And Drew tells Kenya, "You look so good. You look so well rested." And I'm like, ooh, what's that supposed to mean that I look so well rested? What do I look like any other day? But Kenya, she tells Drew, I mean, yeah, I may look that way, but I've actually been having a lot of restless nights because Brooklyn, my daughter, she's been coughing up a lung. And I think I caught something from her. And now I'm beginning to cough too. And if I was Drew, I would have been like, "Wait a minute. What was that, Kenya? Did you just cough? Is that spit on the table?" Absolutely not. Bravo, bravo, fucking bravo. We're cutting the scene short. Absolutely not. I'm not filming anymore. I lost my appetite. I'm not even hungry. We could do this from home. I'm going to send you a Zoom link. I could FaceTime you. We could talk about Sanya from home. I'm not doing this. I'll see you in 2 weeks after you quarantine. Where's my bag? Where's my mask? I'm leaving. Absolutely not. I'm not taking a chance. But Drew, she took a chance. So she continued. She was just like, "Well, you know what? She is paying for the dinner, so why not?" Kenya starts ordering a bunch of food and a bunch of drinks. And Drew, she's sitting there worried. And she's just like, "Oh no, Kenya is ordering a lot of stuff. And if we have to split this, it's going to be a lot on my part. And my Bravo checks aren't that much because this is only my second season. And I still have to pay my 20 assistants. What am I going to do?" But luckily, Kenya was just like, "Oh, Drew, it's fine. I got the check. It's okay." So Drew was just like, whew. "Okay, Kenya, thank you. Now let's continue this scene." And we all remember how last season they went on with this whole, oh, Drew, she said, oh, waitress, can we split the check? And Kenya was just like, oh, no, only broke bitches split checks. Now, I mean, I don't know. My views on that is a little different because I'm with Drew. We are going to split checks. Well, in the case where, let's say if the total is like $1,000, right? I'm not splitting $1,000 between me and like another person or 3 other people if I've only had like water, french fries, and like a little bowl of rice. And you had lobster, a margarita, 3 sangrias, mimosas, all of that, a salad, french fries, all of that, right? I'm not doing that. So you could call it what you want, but I'm with Drew on that. Kenya goes on to explain that she left Brooklyn at Mark's house for the very first time overnight, and she felt odd about it. She's like, well, what do I do now? And she said that she's not trying to replace the man in Brooklyn's life, and I'm not really sure if she meant as in father figure or as in like father figure and dating wise as well. Like, does she not want to date at all because she doesn't want that man to be labeled the stepdad in Brooklyn's life, or like what does she mean by that? I'm assuming that she just meant the father figure. And then she also goes on to talk about the New York trip with Drew, and she's like, yeah, what's been going on with Sanya? Because Sanya, she invited me to her Mommy Nation photo shoot that as of now, Kenya does not know that she's being a part of. And then Drew, she goes on to say, well, yeah, I was invited to that, but all of a sudden Sanya texted me out of the blue and said, I need to secure my peach for next season, so you're uninvited as of now because I have to continue this pointless fight with you for no reason, and I have to drag it on for as long as possible. So I am so sorry, but you're uninvited. And I'm just like, Sanya, come on now. You're just dragging this on for what now? I mean, we all know that it's a thing nowadays that you have, if you're new on the show and you come onto the show, you can't just stand in the background. You obviously, unfortunately, have to start something with somebody else on the show to secure your spot and to cement your role on the show for next season. But Sanya, I mean, come on now. At least try to make it look like it's something important. You're just picking at Drew for what? For no reason. And if she comes back at you 10 times harder, you're going to be upset about it. And I'm probably going to be on Drew's side. Drew, she's just like, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I just feel like at this point, Sanya is just being she's just following other people. And by other people, she means Marlo and Kenya. She's like, yeah, I just feel like she just thinks that both of you are like the cool girls probably. And she's like, oh, I'm the loser or whatever. She wants to pick on me. Sanya, you're just doing too much. And it's just so unfortunate because it's crazy how things just flip like that. Because just a second ago, I was like, oh, okay, I like you. I like your dynamic and your family, your husband and everything. Everything is fine. But then all of a sudden last week, you had me looking at you like, oh, come on now. You're just coming on the show looking very desperate. And the more desperate you are, Sanya, the more it makes me like Drew even more. At this point, it makes me like Ralph even more as well. All right, let me not get too ahead of myself. But I definitely see myself liking Drew more the more I see Sanya becoming desperate. We get to the photo shoot location with this white backdrop, and Sanya's there with her business partner, a photographer, and Kandi walks in. We get a little bit more of a backstory of what Mommy Nation is. So Mommy Nation is a blog that Sanya has started up for Black mothers to share their own personal stories on being mothers and motherhood in general, give each other advice, any help, and just relate each other's stories, right? But this is where Sanya messed up because she named the blog Mommy Nation. What she should have called it was Mommies Who Run It, given her history as the Olympic runner. I just thought it would have been a little bit more on brand and a little bit more catchy. But Kandi, she comes in, Sanya's excited, and Kandi's just like, wait a minute, Sanya. Who else did you invite to this photo shoot? Who else is taking pictures? I'm curious to know. And Sanya's just like, oh, well, it's just going to be you and Kenya. And speaking of Kenya, Kenya walks in clueless. Because as of now, in a couple of seconds, Kenya does not know that she's about to be a part of this photo shoot. So Kenya walks in and she's like, hey, Drew, hey. And Sanya's like, Kenya. You know, she's just sucking up to her. She's like, please do this photo shoot. And Kenya's just like, hey, Sanya, I'm so glad to be here and support your photo shoot. I can't wait to see the rest of your models. Where are they? So Sanya, she's just like, so are you two ready for the photo shoot? Let's go get ready. She just tries to slide that into the conversation like nothing. So Kenya, she was like, wait a minute. I'm part of the photo shoot? What do you mean I'm part of the photo shoot? So Sanya, she was just like, yeah. It was just so awkward because Kenya, obviously, I know she wanted to say no, but she didn't want to look like a jerk in front of the cameras. So she was just like, wait, I'm part of the photo shoot? What do you mean? Like, you haven't even talked to my agent, my business partner, nothing. You haven't even given me a check for it, as she should. I mean, I wouldn't attach myself to anything either if I wasn't getting paid. Kandi in her confessional, she was just like, well, I mean, Kenya doesn't do anything without a check. She doesn't do anything without getting paid. And I'm just like, I'm not sure if Kandi said that in a shady way, like, oh, Kenya is so desperate for money. She does not do anything without getting paid. I'm not sure if she meant it that way. Let's say she did. Kandi, you're one to talk because I'm pretty sure Kandi, she will not breathe around you unless you're getting paid. And I'll be surprised if she actually, did this for free because, her and Sanya don't really know each other that much. So, for Kandi to attach her face and her brand to this, I'm not sure. Would she do it? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that she will give her a little freebie? Who knows? Maybe this is just a little sample. Kenya tells Sanya that she is not ready for a photo shoot, that she came unprepared with no shoes, no outfit, no nothing. But Sanya, she was not taking no as an answer. So she tells Kenya, it's okay, Kenya. I knew you were going to come with a million excuses. So I ordered every single shoe in every single size just for you. So you have no excuse. As for clothes, I have every single one of my clothing in every single size. So you have no excuses. So go get ready. And Kenya, she probably walked to the back like, okay, fine. I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to enjoy it. And then Sanya, she drops another bomb on them by letting them know, by the way, Kandi and Kenya, both of you are going to be modeling my Mommy Nation sweaters when they go on sale. And I was with Kandi in the confessional when she was just like, I can't believe that the bitch, she put us in this photo shoot when her sweaters are on discount. Why weren't we good enough for the full price? What is this, a Black Friday sale? I'm like, right, exactly, Kandi. Sanya, the disrespect. And then Kenya, she looked at Kandi and she's like, wow, so this is what we're doing now. We're just going to be doing free photo shoots while we're on discount on the actual website. Absolutely not. The disrespect, Sanya. And Sanya was smart too because, Kandi goes on to explain, so wait, why were just me and Kenya invited to this? Sanya, she goes on to say, well, I did invite Drew, but me and her with this fallout in New York, I just felt like me and her, we should discuss things, away from this photo shoot, not a part of my brand, not a part of this right now. This is not the right time. And I'm like, because first you're trying to latch onto this Drew drama that only exists in your head and you're latching onto it so hard to secure your speech for next season or do something on the show. And now you're trying to manipulate Kenya in a way to try to be in this photo shoot and guilt her into doing it, like by surprising her, like, yeah, you're gonna be a part of this photo shoot. What do you mean? Like, I invited you here for this, knowing that she was probably not gonna say no on camera. So, are you also being an opportunist? Also, when we find out later about the Instagram followers, is that another reason why you wanted both of them, Kandi and Kenya? Because both of them, they have a big following online and they have, obviously people know their faces. So anything attached to their faces, people are probably gonna be like, let me check out this blog that has their faces on them. Is that a thing, Sanya? Like, what are we doing here? Will anybody be purchasing a Mommy Nation sweater? Clap if you are. All right, so then after that, they move on to the conversation about Sheree. So Kenya, she starts off and she's like, by the way, guys, you didn't hear from me, but did you hear about what happened to Sheree? She got stood up. Yes, Tyrone and her, they were supposed to meet for this date at this restaurant in Philly, and it just didn't happen. I heard that after the 8th hour, production told Sheree, okay, Sheree, we can't continue filming here at night because the camera, it's about to die. We have no flash and anything. We have to leave. And then Sheree, she put up a fight, and she was like, no, just give me one more hour. I think he said that he was going to be here around the 9th hour. Just give him a little bit more. Just charge up the camera again. And it just didn't happen, and production had to shut filming down. It was a whole fiasco, and it was so embarrassing. And then they showed the picture of Sheree sitting there at the cafe by herself. It's so unfortunate. Kandi, she continuously insists that Tyrone is cheating on Sheree. She was just like, maybe he was lame because he was with his other woman, getting some action, because we do know that Sheree is not putting out and she's being celibate when it comes to Tyrone. So, of course, he's probably getting action from somebody else. And I'm just like, interesting, Kandi, like, what it? I've been trying to, catch up with what she's been saying. She said it last week. She said it on the week before that as well. And I'm like, why are you so insisting that Tyrone is cheating on Sheree? That could be, but I don't get why she's so pressed on it. But we head over to Marlo's house and she's there with a Fendi employee, and he has brought a bunch of Fendi shoes, Fendi clothes, Fendi purses. It's just Fendi in the living room, right? So Marlo, she's doing all of this out of the goodness out of her heart because she knows that Sheree's going through it right now. She's wallowing at home. She is sad and depressed because Tyrone left her in the dust at that restaurant in Philly. So she wants to surprise Sheree with a bunch of cupcakes and a little shopping spree that Sheree's going to have to pay for. So why not? So she's doing all of this behind her back. So she calls up Kenya because Kenya is also in on it. She's supposed to come over to bake cupcakes with Marlo and bring a bunch of eggs. So she calls up Kenya and she's just like, hey Kenya, how are you? What's going on? Are you on your way over? Wait, why are you in bed? Wait, you're sick? Ah, come on. No, you serious? Ah, okay, fine. I hope you feel better. Yeah, no, I understand. No, no, I completely get it. I got it. Okay, Drew's gonna come over with a bunch of eggs. Okay, fine, fine, fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I'll save you a Fendi purse. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Bye, bye, bye. I'll talk to you later. Lying ass. I'm like, oh, come on, Marlo. Seriously, Kenya is obviously sick. Kenya goes on to explain on the phone that she was sick at the photo shoot with Sanya. She was kind of feeling it there. And if you notice it, Kenya, she did look a little sick at the photo shoot, which was kind of gross. I hope they edit those pictures out to make Kenya look a little bit more healthy in the photo. But yeah, we could all see that Kenya was just not feeling her best. She didn't look her best. She still looked good, but she didn't look her best. And she's in bed, and she goes on to tweet earlier. She was tweeting about the scene, and she says that the reason why she was in full glam and full makeup is because she was gonna go and film this scene with Marlo, but then last minute they told her, you have a couple symptoms of 19 and you need to get tested. And she was just like, well, I'll stay home instead of go film this scene with Marlo. That's why she was in full glam. It wasn't because she wanted to cancel on Sheree or Marlo last minute, but Marlo, she's just, blowing that out of proportion. And that is something that I noticed with this season. I feel like nobody has each other's back. And I feel like that is what adds a whole different dynamic to this season specifically, because at the same time, yes, they all have like a sorority vibe. They're all sticking together, but at the same time, they're all like hugging each other with a knife behind their back, ready to stab each other in the back. So it also makes a different dynamic because again, it's kind of like every peach for themselves. In a different way. Then we see Sanya. She's shopping around for the lunch, not the luncheon, but the cooking that she's going to do later on with her mom and the rest of the women. And she's telling her mom about everything that went on with Drew and blah, blah, blah. And she went on to say, oh, the real Sanya is going to come out soon if she keeps poking at me. And I'm like, Sanya, well, real Sanya, okay, I guess we'll just have to wait until that real Sanya comes out. But be prepared when the real Drew comes out as well, because I feel like Drew is not a punk. So you're underestimating her. You think that she's going to be a doormat, but then when she fires back at you, you're going to be like, wait, hold on, wait a minute. No, you're supposed to be my puppet. You're supposed to be my doormat and my storyline. What is this? So, just be ready for it. So then Drew, she shows up at Marlo's house with a bunch of eggs, and then Marlo, she's like, wait. Hold on. Pink eggs. What is this? Pink eggs. No. I'm only used to brown eggs. I've seen pink carton eggs. It's all the same, right? It's whatever. So Marlo stopped it. So then they're cooking cupcakes and all of that. Drew is just like, I can't stay for too long. But it's nice to see that Drew, after putting her hand in Sheree's face, she's doing something nice for her. Meanwhile, Sanya's over there back in the grocery store with her mom. Her mom is also adding in, she really needs to, Drew, she really needs to back off or whatever because she doesn't know what she's getting herself into. And I'm like, no, Sanya's mom. Okay, fine, whatever. Sheree gets a phone call from Marlo and she tells her to get inside the car that's waiting for her in the driveway, that it's going to drive her to a special location. And I'm like, I don't think I would be getting inside a random car that just popped up in my driveway and I'm supposed to be blindfolded while in the car and I don't know where it's going? Absolutely not. But Sheree, she's just like, Marlo, I have nothing to wear. I don't have anything to wear. I'm just wearing my pajamas. Marlo's just like, it's fine. Just put on a Louis Vuitton bag, a Gucci bag, some high heels, and you're good. And Marlo, she does have a point with that one because even if you are wearing pajamas, it's all about your accessories, your shoes, and what you're wearing with it. Because I've made it work before. I'll put a picture up here because I went out in pajamas once, but I'm like, let me see how I can style this together to make it look like fashion. Or at least I thought I was getting fashion out. And if anybody says otherwise, you're getting blocked. But Sheree, she's just like, okay, fine, whatever. She goes and she gets changed. She gets inside the sketchy car. She puts on the blindfold. They drive her to Marlo's house. Marlo, she opens up the door and she's just like, hello, Sheree. And Sheree's just like, Marlo, I know it's you. So they go inside the house. But before they go into the house, they have to reenact that fight that they did, I believe, 10 years ago when they were in each other's faces and they were like, it was a cute little callback. So they go inside. Sheree's surprised because she's like, oh, wow, there's Fendi all over the place. Sheree's just like, this is so sweet. I can't believe she's, taking me on a shopping spree. She doesn't know yet that she's going to have to take her credit card out in a second. So she's just shopping around. She's taking pictures with everything on. She's trying on the shoes, the bags, the scarves, everything, right? She's just enjoying herself. Her mood is being lifted. And then that bill comes. And I believe it was like $12,000. And Sheree's just like, wow, I mean, she could have at least bought me something. I mean, yeah, Marlo, if you were that bad bitch that you claim you are with money, you should have just bought everything that Sheree wanted. That would have like really lifted up her mood. But to have her come over here and spend $12,000, like when she didn't even really ask for any of this, that would make me even more depressed. Like that is such a shame. And then they go into the kitchen and there's a little cake, right? Marlo had written on it, I believe she put, I love me, diva, and something else. But Sheree, she was reading it and she was like, what the hell does this say? She couldn't read the diva part, and she's like, well, Marlo doesn't even spell archive correctly. Why would she even try or attempt to write out a cake? I'm like, well, damn. So then they enjoy the little cake or whatever. Marlo's talking to Sheree about Kenya and the phone call that she had with her like 10 minutes. And she's like, yeah, I don't get why Kenya was in full glam and she didn't come. Like, I just don't understand that. I just think it's complete BS. And again, something else that I'm noticing this season, that you cannot even blink incorrectly because somebody is going to start an issue out of that. Like, how dare you blink at me like that? Like, you cannot do anything on this season because again, they're all coming for blood. So then eventually they get onto the conversation about Tyrone. Marlo's just like, look, listen, Sheree, I saw the picture of you looking lonely in front of the restaurant, and I want better for you. You know, you really need to just block him. You need to block his number. And again, I was with Marlo because that's literally all you have to do and your problems will just be all solved, Sheree. And in general, for anybody who's having relationship issues that's watching this, all you have to do is block. I mean, you should see my block list because, it takes a couple of scrolls. Trust me, it works. But then she goes on and she's just like, Sheree, I just feel like you're a black Barbie and you're just letting him play you like this. Like, he literally left you outside for hours in dirty ass Philly. And I'm like, now wait a minute, what did Philly do to you, Marlo? I'm from New Jersey, but I mean, it's right next to Philly, so I kind of felt that. I'm like, wow, dirty ass Philly, that's what it is now? But okay, if anybody's from Philly, how did you feel about Marlo saying that comment? Because, I mean, okay, fine. So then Sheree, she goes on, she gets sad, she starts crying. It was really sad because you know that Sheree really likes Tyrone. Why? We don't know, but you know, obviously, again, like I said earlier, love is blind, and if Sheree sees something in him that we don't, then fine. And she's like, I really like him, but it's just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, he's just constantly playing me, blah, blah, blah. Marlo, she's wrapping her arms around her. They have a moment. She's like, I really want this to be the last time I have this conversation about you with Tyrone. You need to leave him and find something better. Like, you wouldn't want your daughter to come up to you and tell you all of this, that some man is playing her. Like, you wouldn't like that, right? Sheree's just like, no, I wouldn't, but you know, please don't let this be the last time that we have this conversation because I'm probably gonna do this again. And I'm like, Sheree. And then Marlo's just like, bitch, you're stupid. Let's get up. I was with Marlo like, come on, Sheree. Like, seriously? I mean, it's one thing to be made a clown of. Oh, by the way, did anybody see my nails? Side note. I did my nails last night for LA Pride. That was this morning, and it's really sparkly. I always wanted to do the sparkly look, so now, you know, bling bling. We finally get to Sanya's cooking event, and we see Michael Darby DJing. Everybody's coming in one by one. Marlo was the last one to come in, I believe. But she is struggling to get inside the kitchen because she has these tall-ass high heels, and she's walking on concrete, so it looks like she's hopscotching all over the place, trying not to break her ankle. But she makes it inside. I love the lower pants that she had on, those purple pants or leggings that she had on. So Sanya, she's like, okay, everybody, before we start cooking, you need to show me your best whining moves. So they put the music on, and Marlo, I was very, very impressed with her whining moves because she got all the way down. I mean, her knees were all the way bent, and she was just doing the Meg Thee Stallion, just rocking back and forth like it was nothing. I'm like, wow, Marlo, she didn't even break a sweat. That was so impressive. And then she got back up like it was nothing. Meanwhile, we get a glimpse of Sheree doing it. I mean, she bent her back a little bit, and that was about it. And then we finally see Mama Joyce and Sanya's mom finally, meet, and they're holding each other's hand, and they're like, wow, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. It's nice to finally meet you, etc., etc. And it was nice that everything went smoothly between them because, with Mama Joyce, it could go either way, but I'm glad that they got along for now. So eventually they started cooking, and I believe they were peeling a plantain, right? And I'm like, ooh, a plantain. Plantains are so good, especially with some steak and rice and... But eventually they're peeling it, right? And then I believe Marlo, she sees that Sanya's mom is trying to peel one, and she's like, Kenya, you gotta peel one. You gotta squeeze it like it's a penis, like it's a hard penis, And meanwhile, Sanya's mom is just like, the second that she hears penis come out Marlo's mouth. I'm like, Marlo, come on now, have some class, have some respect. Now do it again. You know she was just so uncomfortable, but Mama Joy, she was cool with it. So they continue cooking, everything is fine. Marlo, I mean, she just wanted to get things rolling, and she's just like, okay, so wait, Sheree, can I talk about what's going on with, with you and Tyrone? Can I discuss it to everybody? Can you give me permission? Sheree's just like, I mean, it's fine. I mean, Kandi already knows. I mean, she already knows because Kenya already told her, and Kenya's just like, wait, was I not supposed to tell her? Like, what's going on? Because it's in the blogs. And then Sheree's just like, well, I mean, Kandi, you knew about it, and you didn't even hit me up, or you didn't call me to check up on my emotions. You knew I was going through it, and you didn't even bother checking on me. And this is strike two, because the first one was with the whole situation with Drew. And yes, Kandi was in the wrong with that because she apologized to her at the dinner last week. And then here, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Sheree's doing too much? I feel like she had a reasonable argument in this case because, I mean, yeah, if you're supposed to be friends with Kandi and you're supposed to be friends with Sheree, I don't know why Kandi wouldn't reach out to her. Kandi's excuse is, well, I mean, I saw that you were crying, so I mean, I wasn't gonna call you right away and just be like, hey, girl, what's going on? But I mean, that is exactly what friends do. But then again, it all depends on how close you really are. We could all see this group dynamic here. They could all pretend that they're close friends on the show, but outside of the show, who knows how their relationship really are, especially between Sheree and Kandi. I'm not sure. I don't really know if they really are that close outside of the show, but who knows? Eventually, Kenya jumps in and she's just like, oh, well, I mean, I tried to be there as well for you. I mean, I could have, but then Sheree's just like, but you weren't. Neither you or Kandi were not there for me. So, I mean, but you're always there. You were here for this situation with Sanya. You could come to this event, but you couldn't even come to my event with Marlo. The whole cupcake and Fendi situation that we just saw a second ago. So Kenya's just like, well, look, that was a whole different situation. I was sick. I was already sick at Sanya's event, at Sanya's photo shoot, so that's a whole different story. Marlo, she jumps in and she's like, wait, but you had on full makeup. You had on full makeup when I called you, so no, explain that. So Kenya, she starts getting pissed and she's just like, you're trying to accuse me of, being a liar or trying to pretend that I was sick or whatever to not try to come to Sheree's event. And she's like, no, you knew exactly why I had full glam. And it's because she was gonna come to the event. She was gonna come to Sheree's thing at Marlo's house. But again, she was sick. What do you expect, Marlo? I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they're really grasping at straws with that one because, I mean, Kenya was genuinely sick. You could see it on her and her voice too on the phone. Why would she fake it? And then on top of that, Kenya starts coughing. Absolutely not. The whole scene would have been cut. That is so gross. She starts coughing and Kandi is just like, and Marlo's just like, wait a minute. Kenya, are you sick? What's going on here? No, I'm not trying to get sick. Like, absolutely not. I would have been like, oh, okay, cooking time is over. We could shut this down. Sanya, it was nice meeting your mom, but we're leaving. Like, no. Especially if everything in here is like, cooking equipment, and we're going to have to use it at some point, and you're just coughing up a lung everywhere. Just gross. Mama Joyce jumps in, and she's just like, okay, everybody stop. Stop the screaming. So Kenya, she's just like, okay, fine. Because you said it, I'm going to stop. So then Marlo, she's not having it. She's like, wait. So let's get back to this conversation about you, Sanya. So why didn't you invite me or Sheree or Drew, but you invited Kenya and Kandi? Why did you do that? Sanya's just like, well, I mean, I was close with them. I mean, I was going to invite you two, but I felt like I was much closer to them. And Marlo, I'm just like, wow, Marlo and Sheree, they both came to just ruin this entire luncheon because Marlo's just like, no, I don't think so. I think that's a bunch of lies because what, Kandi all of a sudden for what? I mean, you just met her. All of a sudden, you two are best friends and you have this history of a friendship? No, I don't believe it. Bitch, bye. And I'm like, wow, Marlo, wow. And Sanya, she was just caught off guard. She was just like a deer in headlights. And I'm like, well, where's the energy there, Sanya? I mean, you have so much, passion with Drew and going against her, but Marlo, she's stepping up to the plate to take you on. But where's the same fire that you have for Drew with Marlo? What's going on? Is Marlo too much? Although I am curious to see how Sanya would be able to handle Marlo because Marlo, I mean, she goes for low blows every single time. And we'll get to that in a couple of seconds. So then Sheree's just like, wait, Marlo, can we talk outside? So they go outside, right? And then here we have another Lisa Barlow moment. When Lisa went into that room and she was talking so much shit about Meredith and saying that she fucked half of New York, we got the same monologue, except this time it was Kandi she was talking about. And it was Marlo doing the talking. So Marlo and Sheree, they go outside. They're talking, they're enjoying their drinks. Sheree, she's already messy, right? She's already messy herself. She's already trying to secure her spot on this show for next season, so that way they don't give her the boot for the 100th time, right? She'll do anything to cause mess with anybody, right? She already has her battery pack in her bag by herself. She put it there by herself. But Marlo, I feel like Marlo is intensifying that battery, and she's like adding like extra juice to Sheree, and both of them, they're gonna be, a really good duo. But I don't know how this is gonna turn out at the reunion once everybody comes lashing out at them, because Marlo, she goes on to say, oh, I don't get why Kandi, why anybody wants to partner up with her. I mean, she barely gives back to the community. All she cares about is herself and that daycare that she has at home with her husband, Todd. Like, what is she? She's just a hoe. She fucked everybody in Atlanta. I mean, she fucked every rapper. She's been everywhere. I mean, that's why she has to date anybody who's underneath her tax bracket. And I'm like, wow, Marlo. I mean, we all know Marlo for years. We already know that this is her type of game, right? She plays dirty, but she plays extremely filthy, because she always just goes for low blows after low blow after low blow after low blow. And if you watch What Happens Live, after this episode, she was dragging Kenya all up and down the clubhouse in Andy's little studio, because she was just talking so much shit about Kenya. And I'm like, Marlo, I mean, the thing is with Marlo, on the Housewives, they could throw shade here and there, and it's all light shade or whatever, right? But Marlo, she just throws a whole house at you. And she expects you to forgive her after you have like a conversation with her. She just wants you to be okay with that. And some of the things that she's saying is not okay. Like, how is Kandi supposed to be okay with what you're saying now? Saying that she's a hoe and she fucked everybody in Atlanta and she has to date people that are under her tax bracket. Like, what? And then on top of that, accusing her or saying that she doesn't give back to the community, all she cares about herself. Kandi makes a lot of money. I'm pretty sure she invests in a lot of people. I mean, one, she has to hire a lot of people to do 100 things, I'm assuming. So I'm pretty sure that Kandi keeps people employed, and the old lady gang and stuff. I mean, I don't know how things go there, but I'm pretty sure she pays people back, and she, puts her money out in people's pockets as well. I mean, then again, I'm not sure, and I don't know the rumors in Atlanta, what goes on in there, because Sheree's just like, yeah, I mean, I heard those rumors too, that Kandi, she does get around and she sleeps around and everything. And I'm like, wow, like both of them are really just saying that she's a hoe. And I'm just like, I mean, even if it is true, so what? What is the bad with that? And on top of that, Marlo, you specifically, Marlo, you shouldn't be talking, because we have always known, I mean, we have always heard alleged rumors. You being a side piece or a mistress or an escort, that was your rise to fame on this show specifically. And that is something that you were always known for as well. So, I mean, if you're going to point a finger at Kandi, also point a finger right back at you if you're going to call her, if you're going to talk down on her for being a hoe or sleeping around, So, I mean, what do you do? But this reunion is going to be very, very interesting, because Kandi, they're going to make Kandi bring out her red hair. And we all remember season 6 Kandi, I will drag you in this bitch. So it's just a matter of time before that Kandi gets pulled out. And this is the biggest plot twist, because Sheree, Marlo, they're like, let's go back inside. Let's go mingle with these fake bitches. I'm just going to give them the silent treatment. They go back in the kitchen. Sheree's just like, I really wish that Drew would have showed up. It would have been nice at least, because Drew was also invited, but she turned down the invitation to Sanya. Sanya got upset, and she's like, how dare she turn down my invitation? So Sanya, you don't like when a you is being pulled on you. How interesting. How are you going to disinvite somebody and be rude about it the first time? Like, oh, you're not going to come to my photo shoot, but you could come to my dinner. Like, make it make sense. Meanwhile, on the outside, we see Drew click-clacking her heels, making her way into the kitchen. And I'm like, Drew, are you going to be the queen of Atlanta now? No. But that was whoever told her to do that, I don't know if she did that willingly, but I'm like, wow, this is what we want to see, Drew. This is the type of mess that we show up with. And I'm here for it, but she makes her way into the kitchen, and Sanya's like, oh, okay, so Drew is here, and I guess we'll see what happens next week. And that was that, everybody. What did everybody think about this episode? I thought it was hilarious. I thought it had its moments. Sheree, Tyrone, I'm not sure what she's going to do about that again. She said that she blocked him, but then she's like, oh, he might not stay blocked for too long. So, if she wants to continue wearing the clown makeup, that's on her. But what do y'all think about that? Would y'all block him? Would y'all give him another chance? What do y'all think about what Marlo said about Kandi? Do y'all believe that? I mean, again, the big accusations, but we'll see how this plays out. And for Drew, what do y'all think about Drew showing up next week? That should be interesting to see how it plays out. And I wonder how Mama Joyce and Sanya's mom are going to react to the drama just unfolded in front of them. They probably just want to eat. But let me know what y'all thought about this whole episode down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.